Hello there, a very good evening to you. You're welcome to News Tonight here on GHOne TV. I'm Natalie Fort. A look at the top stories this evening. Momo agents demand special security arrangements as they have become constant targets for armed robbery attacks.
Concerned about the security of mobile money agents. So in terms of even the rules and the regulations, the way they need to operate.
Also coming up, Hepatitis Foundation demands apology from celebrated pathologist Professor Prof Akosa over his communal eating can spread hepatitis B comment. They say the comment is racist.
Immediately issue a statement to apologize for what he has said, and also apologize to people who are living with hepatitis. Yeah, for lying, it's lying. He's lying that you can get hepatitis B through eating fufu, a bowl of fufu with a group of people.
Also ahead this evening, our appeal to you, our viewers, to help end stage kidney patient Rosemary Bedu to be eased of her pain has yielded results as she has now undergone surgery for a new arteriovenous fistula. And ahead in business, soybean farmers from northern Ghana kick against commercialization of GMOs in the country. We bring you the details of these stories and much more news here on News Tonight Tuesday. Let's get started with our bulletin this evening. Remember, you can join us on Facebook and on X. That's at GHOne TV. Top on the news tonight, what would you do if a day before your call to the bar, you were robbed and shot in the head? Unlike banks, where police officers are stationed for protection, mobile money agents are often left at the mercy of armed robbers who make away with their monies and sometimes leave these agents wounded or dead. GHOne TV's reporter Rosemary Akuoko-Ajete brings us the harrowing crime stories faced by many mobile money agents across the country.
On 24th June 2023, 31-year-old mobile money agent Daniel Leddy was robbed and shot in the head. This was a day before he was to be called to the bar. Daniel was attacked by 4 armed robbers at Ajekojo in the Tema Metropolis after he refused to hand over the sales he had made from his Momo business.
I wanted to buy water for my guest on the day, so I went to the shop to pick some money. The door was such that it would not be possible for anyone to destroy the locks easily. So they were trying to pull the gates, but it didn't open. So they came to the front of the shop and asked me to go and open. Before I could make any move, they just shot me. So I fell unconscious, but there was still some life in me. I was lying in a pool of blood.
After a second attempt on his life, Daniel contemplated quitting the Momo business.
My old boy has consistently mentioned that he's not happy that I was into the business. And so when the second incident happened, they came to my end because the next day was going to be my call. So they were with me. So they saw everything. So immediately an incident happened. In fact, I had to relocate immediately because my security was at stake. I had to deal with the trauma for a number of months.
Attacks on mobile money agents have been rife in the last few years, prompting many to consider other avenues of earning. But this was not an option for 31-year-old father of 2, Pius Sapong.
So immediately I picked the bag from my shop, moved for some few meters. There is this motor guy just rushed me with a gun that, hey, I should bring my bag. The moment the motor was about to land, that the guy shouted, hey, Charlie, bring the bag. So at that time, I was close a bit to my car. So I opened my car boot and I put the bag running away. So whilst I was running away, I was holding the car key and I was using the key to lock the vehicle.
Like Daniel, Pius nearly escaped death after he was also attacked on his way home. The robbers made away with more than 13,000 cedis.
Can't do this thing forever because of how risky it is. And then I have to just give myself a time. When I'm able to achieve it, then I divert to a different side, I divert to a different business.
Pius tells GHOne News that just when he thought the CCTV camera opposite his shop could lead the police to arrest the robbers, it turned out to be futile because it was not functional at the time due to a power outage.
The CID who is in charge of the case tried to contact the people that the camera belongs to them, but we finally has been told that because of the light out this thing, the device that will capture the incident has crashed.
But these cases are not isolated, as there have been separate robbery attacks on mobile money operators across the country.
I've heard the news about the person that came here first. I heard that they've robbed him, but since I know I've heard about that news about that person, I have to use it as a lesson so that I make sure I'm vigilant. If I come here, I'm vigilant, and also to close early.
But it actually occurred in front of me over there. There was this motorbike, two guys on a motorbike. The one sitting behind snatched the bag and they started zooming off. And I could hear the merchant shouting. It was far gone. But personally, one or few occasions when you withdraw money from somewhere, you realize that some people start to follow you. Sometimes I try to look at the person and the person actually moves away.
A mobile money operator was shot on February 12, 2024 at Wale in the Northeast region by 3 gunmen. In April 2024, 5 gunmen also shot a vendor at Tumu in the Sisala East municipality in the Upper West region. The Bank of Ghana says between 2021 and 2022, mobile money crime led to financial losses amounting to about 26 million Ghana cedis. A situation the CEO of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, Dr. Engineer Kenneth Ashigbe, says needs to be addressed.
The industry is concerned about the security of mobile money agents. So in terms of even the rules and the regulations, the way they need to operate, it is all done looking at the fact that you want to ensure that the mobile money operator is secured. And so what guidelines do you put in place? What are the things that they need to do? The fact that they even need to ensure that they would get in touch with the police and let the police know this is where they are operating from.
But Assistant Staff Officer of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Seidu Osmani, assures his outfit is collaborating with other security agencies and the telecoms companies to clamp down on the criminals.
Try as much as possible to report so that they can attend to whatever has happened in time, because promptness is good. You don't have to stay late. You don't have to move around. You don't have to showcase money. People see people, they want people to know that they've made profit. They display their cash for people to see that they have cash. And some people too, they talk big. Oh, this day, Minya say, I've gotten this profit and a whole lot.
While this is being done, mobile money agents, including Daniel and Pius, are calling for tightened security in the various communities, especially in places where Momo agents operate. Reporting for GHOne News, Rosemond Akwoko Ajeti.
Well, clearly very troubling occurrences there. Now, we've been joined via phone by Evans Otumfo. He's the secretary of the Momo Agents Association of Ghana. Evans, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. Now, you just heard, as I'm sure you're already aware, my colleague Rosemond highlighting these very troubling attacks on your members. Very briefly, can you share any other attacks that you have been privy to that have been alarming over the years?
Good evening to you, and thanks for having me. In fact, when it comes to issues of attacks and robbery on mobile money agents, it is something that is very much alarming and troubling. As you have just reported a couple of weeks ago, within the Upper East or Upper West region, an agent has been robbed under gunpoint. Just at GHOne Secondary School too, a member has also been under robbery attack. And the worst of it all is that sometimes we end up losing some of our members, and it appears that it has been the order of the day. Nobody seems to be able to find a solution to this increasing attack on the industry and then its players, specifically the mobile money agent. It has been an age-long experience. We have tried all that we think we could, but when it comes to matters of money and armed robbers, you will try all your best, but occasionally they also try to evolve other alternative means of attacking, the mobile money agent. So it is something that we believe that at this point, it is not just a matter of the agents, but the government must also show a very clear interest in the security and welfare of these agents. Because when it comes to matters of robbery, it is not just the matter of the mobile money agent. We have heard other speakers also say that it is the conduct of, these agents out there that in most cases do attract robbery attacks on them. But whether, you have engaged yourself in certain lifestyle or not, once the agent, business involves money, at all costs, we are going to be experiencing, individuals who are armed robbers targeting where financial activities, usually take place. So these are some of the concerns and challenges that the agent seems to be found guilty or maybe found him or herself wanting in such a space.
Right. Now, Evans, you say that it appears that nobody cares and that you've done all that you can. How far in have your engagements been with stakeholders within the industry? And what sort of help would you want to see? What sort of protection would you want to be demonstrated?
Yes, so, our first port of call has to do with the EMR, that the electronic money issuers, the mobile money service providers.
Right.
But they too, they cannot really do much, because when it comes to the subject of armed robbery, it is only the security agents that can, in a way, intervene. Now, here lies, the security agencies to, you will hardly, get them to come to your aid when you are under such an attack. Because, our business and our agents are very much dispersed. And our numbers too is something that is very high. We are looking over 600,000 active agents out there.
Right.
And how many, police personnel do we have in the country to even think of deploying an agent to a police officer?
Very
it is
well.
highly impossible. So we only always request that government, and for that matter, other relevant stakeholders should meet at the table, to discuss and come out with policy intervention that will help to address this physical attack on agents.
Right.
But in the interimly, we have always been demanding that governments must really come in strongly by way of providing or making available at a subsidized cost security logistics that would at least help to intervene in the growing challenge that agents are having to
Very
deal
well.
with.
Now, Evans, just briefly, as we round up, is there any form of insurance cover for your members?
As an association, we are still engaging, insurance providers. But what we currently have is, an arrangement with the telcos, especially MTN Mobile Money Limited, where some form of insurance is made available to our agents. But then the claims or the benefits that agents get when they face some of these attacks, it is not encouraging enough. Right. So we have written certain proposals to Mobile Money Limited to consider reviewing in terms of the claims or the benefits that the agent will get when he or she finds, in a difficult challenge,
a compromising situation. Very well.
Yeah.
Evans, definitely a worrying situation. We'll engage you in subsequent bulletins for more on this. Evans Otunfo, Secretary of the Momo Agents Association, joining us there. Let's turn to some other news this evening as a comment from Professor Bedu Akosa that communal eating can be a source of the spread of hepatitis B has angered members of the Hepatitis B Foundation who are demanding an apology from him. Professor Ajman Bedu Akosa on Tuesday, May 28, 2024, whilst leading a discussion on practical ideas intended to improve quality health in Ghana during a Quality Health for All program, said that eating soupy foods such as fufu, umuto or tozafi together from one bowl can make people swallow saliva from each other, which can help spread hepatitis. But reacting to the claims by the celebrated pathologist, the foundation says he must apologize for spreading what they call falsehood. Theobald Owusu-Ansah is the president of the Hepatitis B Foundation.
His comment is false, and there's no scientific evidence somebody can get hepatitis B through food or eating with someone who has the virus. He should immediately issue a statement to apologize for what he has said, and also apologize to people who are living with hepatitis. Yeah, for lying, it's lying. He's lying that you can get hepatitis B through eating fufu, a bowl of fufu with a group of people. You should come and retract whatever you have said. It's discriminating and also creating fear and panic among the people who are living with hepatitis B. And we all know that there's no scientific evidence that eating with someone with hepatitis B, you can also get hepatitis B. Hepatitis B is transmitted through blood or mother-to-child transmission. Even in African settings, you can't confirm that somebody can get hepatitis B through sex. But hepatitis B, C, and D, you can get it through blood. Hepatitis A and E is through contaminated food or water. We are giving up to next week, Friday, to this week. Then we will take legal action or we demonstrate against him because it's very discriminating. A whole former director of Ghana Health Service will stand up one day to lie against people who are, or to lie, to destroy the whole 12 years thing we have done. It's very unfortunate for a professor to say that. And I don't know why the program manager, Ghana Health Service, Hepatitis B program manager is quiet, and Goslin is also quiet about this issue. Because maybe he taught them in school, or they are former Director General of Ghana Service, so they don't want to come and say anything. His comment is...
Well, the foundation insists that his comment is a misconception, which has created fear and panic in the public, which will ultimately lead to stigma and discrimination.
In Ghana, it's 13% of the total population, people who are living with hepatitis B. And you know, hepatitis B, now we have policy in place. But for the past, now we are under 24, so we have 6 years to eliminate hepatitis. But Ghana, we don't have any strategic plan or policy to eliminate hepatitis. So we also take this advantage to tell government that last year, during the World Hepatitis Day, he said they are going to support mother-to-child transmission, eliminate mother-to-child transmission, which means they are going to implement birth dose. Now we are in May. There's no action. Government have not done anything about it. So we are telling the government that to eliminate hepatitis, we need to start birth dose. And birth dose is cost-effective than treating the disease. So when you are treating people, one person, it's very expensive. But when you want to prevent it, it's cheap. So government should do something to eliminate hepatitis in Ghana.
Well, now, with this information from Professor Bedu Akosa, will Ghanaians insist on eating in a communal manner? We have been speaking to some Ghanaians on the streets of Accra.
I don't get comfortable with it because These days, it's like we are in a global world and a lot of changes. We are learning a lot of things. And then based on the disease that we are experiencing it over here, some don't even wash their hands with soap. Some are not really clean, so you don't feel comfortable to eat with others. You rather prefer to eat alone. But I know some people seem not to understand, but as well as we live and we always learn, people will come to understand it.
Media coming quite say, I said, and your Marcicona, say, yes, Omotibo ma, winning more, dear, because me feel rice. I want some. So winning near Cordia. The way I basically I can now munya line is a young person on your bed.
Yaliano Daba. Now so first and Yalian so a bath. Now so me bank na zero. Nantis more. Not in Suai Yanomono. Nay, ice water, name can be water. A Gugalum, ye bubuton cap can. The same cap on maybe a cap and bed tray. And a cancer, or but tones winning in a year, or tones winning in a year, that's not of for. Set up cronan or beton. I am no sooner. As no be uncomplained and your could yalabi iron. As no moon check. Say, same my see a surrey when I lay ready yalabi. Is he an Ubu and the Paboa 27, 15 years, 14 years not? Why, another no 7.
I'm a shy type and I always feel like doing things by myself, so I don't like eating with colleagues because the way I eat, maybe that wouldn't be the same way they will also be eating.
Well, away from that issue, let's turn to some other news this evening. The constant pain, fatigue and swelling that characterized the life of end-stage kidney patient Rosamond Bwedu is now a thing of the past, as she undergoes a surgery for a new arteriovenous fistula, which was made possible through the benevolence of viewers of GHOne TV, after the story of the 16-year-old was first shared here. An amount of 41,000 cedis was presented to her to cover the cost of dialysis. Here's reports by Evelyn Araba Edu.
The 16-year-old end-stage kidney patient, Rosemary Bwedu, had to grapple with the abnormal condition due to a femoral catheter on her right thigh to temporarily facilitate her dialysis session. But the procedure, according to doctors, is limited and dangerous and can only last for a week on the thigh. Doctors say if the femoral catheter is left for more than the stipulated time, it can lead to complications such as infections, pains, and difficulty in walking, clots forming in the vessels of the thigh, which can be fatal.
I feel very happy now, and I said thanks to all of them. God really bless them. I really appreciate wherever they took the money from. They should get it times 100 from there. God should bless them, bless their hand of work, any work that they are doing. God to continue to bless them, so they also remember me in their heart, and whenever something comes, they'll still be there to help me.
Na ya nenda so say o mitumi ai bi say am 19 ya me hiro mo ba bi biaro mu yo muskali na yakopom do mo na se da chin so say ya samba bio na abaka e be say e be ya na transplant no nti se mo so mo de amai so ya say ya bi account do akotum na se bi amboa bi ba ya so ya be pipi na de account na ya tuna ya na transplant no.
Nonetheless, her mother was unable to get her a new arteriovenous fistula, which cost 3,500 cedis. As a result, the femoral catheter was left in her right thigh for 6 months, which gravely threatened her enfeebled health. Rosemary Bwedu, on 29th May 2024, underwent a surgery for a new arteriovenous fistula through financial support from GHOne TV after airing her story, dubbed Dialysis Dilemma. An arteriovenous fistula creation is a surgical procedure performed by a vascular surgeon to create a connection between an artery and a vein. The fistula is usually placed on the forearm or upper.
Eflin Arabe Edu with that report. Certainly, GHOne TV gets results. And thank you to all our viewers who contributed. You're watching News Tonight. Stay with us. We've got more news shortly. You're welcome back to News Tonight. Let's turn to some legal-related issues this evening as Chief Justice GHOne Tokonu has called on lawyers to bring to bear competence and diligence in their line of duty. According to her, the profession demands those values that will help shape the society. Justice Tokonu made this call when she addressed 182 new lawyers in Accra on Friday.
It's been a very short ceremony here at the Accra International Conference Center, and the business of the day is simple: the 2024 mini call. A total of 182 new lawyers having enrolled onto the roll of lawyers. But the Chief Justice who performed this ceremony, as it were, plays a simple call. He cautioned them to exhibit competency and their line of duty.
Our choices are pivotal in upholding the rule of law and ensuring that the legal system remains a solid foundation for our whole society. Please approach your work with a profound sense of duty and responsibility, and let your actions reflect not merely ambition, but also serve as a testament to the sacrifices of those who paved the way for the progress of the legal profession. A generation from now, I am confident that the names that have been called today will become the names that inspire another batch of young lawyers.
One characteristic of this whole call is that virtually all the new lawyers who have been called to the bar express a simple sentiment: the challenges they have to go through to come this far.
I wouldn't say that it's a world of difference. I think the practice of journalism and media, the practice of journalism and law, which we are about to start down, may have a correlation. At the end of the day, it is service to humanity. You owe a duty to the public, you owe a duty to your client. You are supposed to exhibit that high level of professionalism.
Lawyers are known as, we know everything, more or less. That's why we are called learned people. And so as a lawyer, you need to be all-rounded. And that's what it means by what the Chief Justice said. So both spiritually, physically, how to handle your clients, everything about the law. You must have basic knowledge of everything.
It's a step in the right direction, what she said, because as lawyers, we owe duty to the society at large. Aside our clients, we owe a duty to the society at large. So yes, I agree exactly with what she said. It's in order.
But what exactly is the issue? From the Accra International Conference Center here in Accra, Mutala Inusa, GHOne.
In other news, the third accused in the ongoing ambulance trial, Richard Jakpa, has filed a court application seeking to have the charges against him dismissed or alternatively have the proceedings against him stayed. In the application, which was submitted on Thursday, May 30, 2024, by his lawyers, Richard Jakpa argues that the charges and proceedings initiated by Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame constitute an abuse of court processes and violates the obligations set in the 1992 Constitution. He contends that the Attorney General is misusing his constitutional powers by prosecuting him without justification. Richard Jakpa also claims that in private conversations, the Attorney General admitted that there is no case against him. This assertion further supports Richard Jakpa's argument that the prosecution is unwarranted and constitutes an abuse of power. Meanwhile, the Office of the Attorney General has described businessman Richard Jakpa's application to have charges dropped against him as a desperate smokescreen set up to abort his legitimate prosecution for the role he played in causing colossal financial loss to the state. The Attorney General, while opposing to the application filed by Richard Jakpa, the third accused at the High Court for charges to be dropped against him in the ambulance purchase, stated that Jakpa's request is an abuse of process and unmeritorious. In an affidavit in opposition to the motion filed by Richard Jakpa's lawyers, the Attorney General further argued that no proper grounds have been canvassed by the applicant to warrant a grant of his application, which is unknown to criminal procedure and practice in Ghana. On Thursday, May 30, lawyers of businessman Richard Jakpa, led by Thaddeus Sori, filed an application at the High Court demanding that charges against their clients be to strike out. They also want the ongoing proceedings terminated following allegations of abuse of process by the Attorney General, Godfred Yeboah-Dame. The imitator of the criminal proceeding, Jakpa's application also seeks a stay of the proceedings before the court against the third accused. But the AG in its response said the instant application is a desperate smokescreen set up by the applicant to abort his legitimate prosecution for the role he played in causing colossal financial loss to the state in the purchase of ordinary vans purporting to be ambulances. Let's turn to some other news this evening. Suicide activist Gloria Boatema Ando is urging young Ghanaians to pay more attention to their mental health as the rate of suicide continues to be on the surge. According to her, failed relationships, scholastic missteps academically, and the death of loved ones, among others, are contributing to the high rate of suicide in the country. Speaking to my colleague Lily Mohammed on GH Today on Friday, as part of the Purple Month, a month dedicated to mental health awareness, Gloria urged the youth to take care of themselves and their mental health.
We are growing and we are facing reality. All right? Because if you're going through a problem or a challenge and you are thinking of what the next person is actually going to say and you want to lose yourself for that next person, trust me, then it's not worth it. We are at the stage where you have to make sure that you build resilience and save yourself. Because it is you that you're going through. We fake a lot. I mean, we all have our own issues and all that. We fake thinking that if somebody's sitting somewhere thinking that, oh, these people have it all right and all that. No, we all have challenges. So they can visit. You can even call us. I mean, make a call. Now we have phones. We have gadgets that can actually reach out to all these things. If you think that you don't want to go one-on-one, go online. You get people to speak to you. Call us. There are other organizations that run all these things. And use your phone. There's a lot in there. Use your phone as well. But if you become very critical, if it's an illness, you need to visit the hospital. And you need a professional touch. Some you have to go through therapy. Some you need counseling and you'll be fine. But some you need to be on medication. So you can't sit there and assume that because they're going to say that and that. No, this is the point. We are in a point where you need to make your business your business.
Absolutely.
And
Now, teachers and young pupils have been urged to practice zero waste and plastic segregation as part of efforts to preserve the environment. Speaking during the launch of the Zero Waste program with the Ghana Education Service, coordinator for the Zoomlion Foundation, Thomas Kole, highlighted the need to expose children to plastic recycling as an employment opportunity and a source of income.
Plastic waste management remains a huge challenge, and successive governments continue to find innovative solutions to deal with the issue. To help tackle the menace, Zoomlion Foundation, a subsidiary of Zoomlion Ghana Limited with support from the Ghana Education Service, has launched the Zero Waste program, which aims at equipping facilitators to nurture pupils with the habits of waste segregation.
The Zoomlion Foundation is spearheading awareness, widespread awareness about waste and the value that we can get from it. So the era whereby we complain about waste in the gutters and in the streets, it is over. Now it's about letting people know the money that they can make from handling their waste well. We want the children to be aware, we want community members to be aware. They can segregate their plastics and bring them there and sell and make money.
Engaging journalists during the launch of the Zero Waste program in the Shai Osudoku district, Director of Education for Shai Osudoku, Harriet Lomote, lauded the Zoomlion Foundation for the initiative and also emphasized the need for children to practice zero waste.
When we talk about waste, we are looking at all the plastics, and we know that learners at the KG level, they use these plastic bottles. So how are we going to make sure that all these plastics, after they have used it, they don't throw it away into the streets? But then we have to make proper use of it, what we call reuse, recycle, or proper disposal of plastics.
Various stakeholders, including the Greater Accra Regional Director of Education, clergymen, traditional rulers, teachers, and parents, expressed their commitment towards the Zero Waste Program. The program, according to the Zoom Lion Foundation, will be rolled out in all districts in the country with the focus of sustaining the Zero Waste campaign from the grassroots level.
You're watching News Tonight. We've got business news next. On business this evening, we focus on agriculture as the Soya Value Chain Association has petitioned the Minister for Food and Agriculture and the Chief of Staff to set laws that will stop the commercialization of GMO soya in the country. According to the association, GMO soya is not one of the solutions to their problems as a value chain, but rather wants logistics. Yao Afrifa is the executive secretary of the association, and he has been addressing the media.
We are petitioning the Ministry of Agriculture and the Chief of Staff to intervene, to get the Parliament of Ghana to enact appropriate laws to protect the intrusion of GMO. If we go GMO, the GMO seeds is never going to belong to Ghana. It is going to belong to the one who is promoting it. And so it will mean that every year, if we want that caliber or that specification of soya beans, we have to always go for them. And there is a trait of that soya beans that entices people because then it is resistant to glyphosate. And so if you use glyphosate on it, the soya bean does not. So it becomes easier to use that one than our normal one. The needs of the value chain today is land preparation, irrigation, access to finance, to pay for services and inputs. Is that right? It has nothing to do with GMO. There is no records of any country that has gone GMO on a crop and that they have become crop sufficiency. It is not there. And so why the GMO?
In other business news, Vice President and presidential candidates for the ruling New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has promised to realign the country's imports duty with that of Togo to help reduce smuggling of goods across the border, if voted as the next president in December 2024. According to him, Ghana currently loses millions of cedis in revenue to smuggling activities as a result of the relatively higher import duties at the country's ports. He made the promise in Ho while on a tour in the Volta region.
Speaking to members of the clergy as part of his one-day tour of the Volta region, the Vice President and flag bearer of the MPP for the 2024 elections announced several policy initiatives as a stopgap measure to corruption and revenue generation to propel the country's economic growth if given the opportunity to lead the country. Specifically is the issue of the country's import duty, which he promised to have a second look at.
Right now, the duty rates are not predictable. And if the duty rates are not predictable, it means the consumer will suffer, because the trader will say, once the duty increases, I'm going to increase the price. And when I increase the price, I'm even thinking of what will happen when I'm going back to buy. And then I'll increase the price again. So there's an inflationary component. So I want us to have predictability of import duty, which will allow us, in my view, to collect more import duty. Look at our neighboring country, Togo. To look at Lome. A lot of goods are being smuggled into Ghana through the Lome because Lome ports have lower import duties than the Tema port. Ghana's import duty for any good will not be higher than the Lome port duty. We will cap our import duty at that level.
Dr. Bawumia, as part of his vision, indicated that the government under him will pay serious attention to agriculture to ensure the country produces enough for domestic consumption and also for exports.
We have
As part of his tour, Dr. Baumia engaged with several relevant stakeholders, including the Volta Regional House of Chiefs, Muslim clerics, students and market women in the whole central market. The engagements were to enable him share his vision as the MPP's presidential candidate with the various stakeholders and to also seek their support ahead of the December 2024 polls. For GHOne News, Faisal Abdul-Idrisu.
In other business stories, China has established itself as the #1 trading partner of Ghana in the 2023 ahead of Europe and Russia. This was revealed by government statistician Professor Samuel Enim as he launched the 2023 trade report here in Accra.
Nominal trade deficit in 2022, which was mainly driven by high commodity prices for mineral fuels and oils, have been reversed in 2023. This is based on the fact that we recorded a trade deficit of 4.8 billion Ghana cedis in 2022 and 5.3 billion Ghana cedis trade surplus in 2023. And this is as a result of the commodity price increases for mineral fuels and oils that we had in 2022, leading to the trade deficit. In as much as we want to promote diversification from our export perspective, this report has put to light the fact that gold has consolidated its position between 2022 and 2023 with a share of 45.2%, and mineral fuels and oils has seen a lower share over the same time period. From a continent point of view and from an import point of view, we've seen a switch from concentration on Europe as our main origin in terms of imports to Asia, and this is as a result of an improved trade relations with China, with China driving Asia's lead as the predominant continent for our imports, surpassing that we've seen for Europe.
You can get lots more business news on our website, starfm.com.gh. Do stay with us here on News Tonight. In sports news tonight, management of Loughborough University is in talks with the Ministry of Youth and Sports and other government agencies for a collaboration in development of sports in the country. Officials of the UK institution with expertise in sports science, led by Vice-Chancellor Nicholas Roberts-Jennings, at the meeting with the Sector Minister, Yusuf Mustafa, explored areas of collaboration in developing and deploying technology to help develop talents in football and athletics. Speaking to GHOne Sports during a media engagement, Professor Jennings expressed optimism about the collaboration with the government of Ghana.
We had a very positive conversation with the minister and officials and individuals from various governing bodies to really explore what we could do together. I think there's a strong willingness on both sides. I think folk here in Ghana want to improve and professionalize what happens in sport. It's an important part of nation building and the type of nation that you want to be. We have a lot of expertise in this space and we want to take that expertise out around the world. So I'm very hopeful and optimistic that we'll have a good collaboration will emerge from this visit.
That's how we wrap up News Tonight this evening. Many thanks for making the time. It was produced by Musa Lanza. I'm Natalie Fort. From the entire team, have a wonderful evening and a great weekend.